Guys, word reaching me is that Ashlee Jenae might have actually been dead before she and Joe McCann were actually separated into different rooms. I know she called the mom to tell her that they were arguing and they needed to be separated, but there's nothing about the mom talking to her after. And guess what? Word in the street is that Ashlee Jenae might have actually been poisoned. And people are claiming there's a hospital nurse acting as a whistleblower who is about to blow this whole case wide open. Baby, I sure hope y'all are seated. Look, if you're wondering why you aren't seeing every major news outlet in Tanzania or local bloggers and influencers deep diving into this case, you have to understand the terrifying reality of what it's like on the ground over there in Tanzania. To put it plainly, reporters and influencers have basically been forbidden from covering the Ashlee Jenae case. And that's why we're all relying on these anonymous whistleblowers. These people are literally risking everything to leak info because the government back there is not playing. If your name gets attached to spreading misinformation or harming the tourism industry, they don't just get a fine, they disappear. And if y'all think I'm kidding, look at the facts. Tanzania literally banned X, formerly Twitter, across the country a few months ago because it was the only place people were speaking the truth about what's going on there. Actually, during the recent elections, it was a complete nightmare because activists and journalists were being arrested and some even went missing after being taken by police. We're talking about a place where the ruling party won with 98% of the vote, and anyone who questioned the win got hit with treason charges. Even UN experts have been sounding the alarm about enforced disappearances and horrible measures used to silence anyone who dares to speak up. So when people ask why isn't the local media investigating the story or giving us any update, it's because they can't. In Tanzania, you have to have a government-issued license just to post content online now. And they will pull that license or worse in a heartbeat if you talk about things they want buried. They've even blocked international journalists from coming in to cover sensitive events. And it's a total media blackout down there. Come to think of it, is this something Joe knew when he took Ashlee to Zanzibar? Now, we know that Ashlee and Joe were arguing from the second they touched down at that villa. And it was never a happy engagement trip. It was a blowout from day one. And day one was April 4th, according to the press conference by the Director of Criminal Investigation. So they were fighting on 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and on 8th when the person in the neighboring villa said they had enough. We have also seen reports claiming that Joe was leaving Ashlee alone in the villa to go out and link up with local women, and this is why they were always fighting. But here's the thing. The assumption right now is that Ashlee died on the 8th and not on the 10th like they are trying to make us believe. And that the press conference trying to piece together the timeline was just BS. See, the Director of Criminal Investigations provided a detailed timeline, stating that Joe and Ashlee checked into Zuri Hotel Villa number 25 with a planned departure for April 10, 2026. He then confirmed that there was a dispute between the two of them, and it was so bad that the person in Villa number 26 alerted the hotel staff, and that's when they were separated into different rooms. Then he said that the staff decided to relocate Joe to Villa number 65, which is approximately 8 to 10 minutes from Ashlee's room. He also said that at around 7:30 p.m. on the day Ashlee was found, one of the attendants was doing his evening rounds when he visited Villa number 25 where Ashlee was staying, and she told him that she needed a phone charger. The attendant gave Ashlee his phone charger and then proceeded to Villa 24 and 26. But Ashlee had told him to come back after about 10 minutes. Guys, this is the first thing that doesn't make sense at all. Like, are we really supposed to believe that Ashlee Jenae, a literal influencer on a luxury vacation in Zanzibar, didn't have a phone charger? Be for real. Her entire life and career depended on that phone being charged. You're telling me she's out there taking content, posting stories, and living the soft life, but she just forgot her cord and also didn't have a power bank? It literally makes zero sense. And I know some people are trying to say maybe she didn't have it after they were separated into different villas. But the staff specifically said that Joe was the one who was moved to a different villa after their big blow-up. That means Ashlee stayed right where she was in the primary room with all her stuff, all her bags, her makeup, and definitely her chargers were right there with her. There is just no way on earth an influencer like that is sitting in a 5-star resort with a dead battery and no way to plug it in. It's suspicious, period. Plus, the hotel staff just happened to be walking around with his charger. Unless you're at the front desk specifically asking to borrow one, Housekeeping or security isn't just walking the halls with extra charging cables draped over their shoulders like it's part of the uniform. Usually, if you forget your charger, you have to trek down to the front desk, hope they have a lost and found box, and pray one of them actually works. Staff don't just carry those around while they're doing their rounds. Anyway, moving on. The report also said that the attendant went back after about 20 minutes. He knocked on the door. There was no answer and all the lights were turned off. And that's when he used his key to access the villa and discovered Ashlee suspended from the internal wardrobe hanging rod using a bathrobe rope. Based on the report, at the time she was still alive but struggling. So he raised the alarm and they rushed Ashlee to the nearest hospital. Then after initial treatment, Ashlee was transferred to another hospital for specialized care, but she passed on the next day at about 3:00 p.m. This brings us to another question. How exactly is a standard hotel wardrobe rod supposed to hold the full weight of a grown woman? Most of those rods are designed for shirts and jackets, not for that kind of pressure. It would literally have snapped immediately. But the biggest red flag, the lights. The report says the room was pitch black. So, we're supposed to believe Ashlee did all of this. The tying, the positioning, the securing perfectly in total darkness in under 20 minutes. Guys, come on. It just doesn't add up. If you're in a dark, unfamiliar villa, you can barely find the bathroom without stubbing your toe, let alone set up something like that. And also, guys, you have to understand that Ashlee was in a villa with various rooms. Not your regular hotel room where the wardrobe is literally just there. And a tour on their site gives us a picture of how luxurious and massive the place was. Honestly, I'm really struggling to understand how this attendant immediately noticed that Ashlee was struggling and why his first instinct was to enter a villa because the lights were off. Doesn't make sense at all. Anyway, guys, here we are operating with the assumption that there was actually an attendant who had an interaction with Ashlee, but there has been no surveillance that has been provided backing this narrative, which means that this entire narrative may have been made up. All of it. And you want to know why? Allegedly, Ashlee was already dead way before they were saying she died. And this is what the whistleblower is trying to tell us. And it's the autopsy reports that would have all the answer. It officially says strangulation, but what kind? The one from a rope or the one with hands? And you want to know why this makes sense? Ashlee's last post on social media was on April 5th. And it's a post from Serville Wildlife, not Zuri Zanzibar. There is not a single post of Ashlee from Zuri Zanzibar where they moved to and where she died, even though she was supposedly there for a few days. Think about it. For someone who frequently posted about her soft life, that is strange, right? You want to tell me that she was at this luxurious 5-star resort and didn't post anything from the time she arrived? Honey, there is no way she was there from 4th to 9th and never posted anything from Zuri. Guys, the only thing that makes sense is that Ashlee never died on April 10th. Simple. And now there are alleged reports of a whistleblower, supposedly a nurse or medical staffer from the local hospital, who is claiming we need to look way closer at the toxicology. Allegedly, this whistleblower is hinting that her body showed signs of a toxic reaction, and if she was poisoned, it changes the entire narrative. It would mean everything was premeditated and planned. However, the reason why this whistleblower has to stay so deep in the shadows is because in a place where people fall off the grid for just tweeting, coming forward about a high-profile death is a literal life or death move. Simply put, the silence isn't because there's no story. It's because the government has a muzzle on anyone with a microphone and everyone who came into contact with Ashlee. Now, I can't verify that there was poison involved, but there was clearly foul play because the official report is more of a cover-up with details that don't make any sense. Y'all, I know it's a lot, but let me know what you think of the government forbidding people from covering and talking about the case, and whether you also believe Ashlee died much earlier in the comments section below. Hey.